It's time for the Essential Wrestling Podcast, episode 99. Just one more show to go, guys, before we hit episode 100. We'll talk about that towards the end of this show. But we're here. We are powered by the Eastern Observer. I am here, Ryan Joy, filling in for Karl, who is off on assignment. To my right is Mr. Gary Mehaffy, coming in from the UK. How are you doing, Gary?
Not too bad. I spent tonight watching Northern Ireland playing a football match and losing. So, the only thing that could be worse was being on top of John Smith. So,
and here you are on top of John Smith. Speaking of John Smith, right below Gary is Mr. John Smith. John, how are you today?
I got nothing for you.
All right. Well, to John Smith's left is John Deconnie. John, anything witty to open the show with today?
This is episode number 99, so it has to be a great one.
Yeah, something. This is Dark Order Anna J episode of the show, I guess.
Well, that was a Wayne Gretzky reference. I don't know if you caught that. Right?
I did not. You guys know sports, and me just you got Gary talking about. I think he was talking about soccer, but he said something about football, and you got John made a reference that I okay. We're here to talk about wrestling. If you want to talk about sports, though. Have I got a show for you, but it's not until Friday, and it's currently on hiatus because of the NCAAs. Check out the Primetime Rundown. They'll take you through all that stuff. But we're here to talk about wrestling. We are going to be making our picks for all of the week's matches, except for WrestleMania. We have a WrestleMania special that's going to be on Friday at 4 p.m. We'll be making all our picks for the two big nights of WrestleMania on that night. So check us out then. We'll talk about that again at the end of the show. The picks are sponsored by Pro Wrestling Pick'em, where you can play against your friends or play against the universe. And guys, she'll like it too. I feel obligated to say that, or Al will kick me off the air. And so, boatload of matches to pick, everything except WrestleMania. But before we do, a couple of things to get into. First and foremost, the Steiner brothers are going into the Hall of Fame. That was announced earlier this week. Anybody have anything interesting to say about the Steiner brothers? I mean, you would think another Steiner would come along after a while, right?
It's one of those cases where I'm like, they weren't in already? Like, what the hell was going on there? But
it feels like...
I guess Scott tends to make enemies easily.
But Rick was going to be there anyway, maybe? Because, maybe his kid's doing something.
So they didn't have to spend the extra money to fly him in. Might as well throw him in the Hall of Fame now.
Or we're already spending the money to fly him in. Let's not spend that again another time. So something to that effect. Well, anyway, the Steiner brothers are going in, so that'll be fun. I look forward to Scott Steiner telling us something, doing some math on the podium. That'll be fun. Raw roll-up numbers. Let's get into that. Here's where we finished at the end of last week. Raw with a commanding lead over AEW with 13 roll-ups. But we had some to add to the list last week. Gary, Mako Satomura got one over on Isla Dawn. Isla Dawn, I should say, your new UK Women's Champion. We'll talk about that a little bit later, too. Macklin got one on Heath. Eddie Edwards over Rocky Romero. King Woods on Ridge Holland. Angel Garza over Ricochet. Dustin Rhodes over Lance Archer. That was a shocker. And then Rey Mysterio over The Miz. I don't want anybody to be confused. Isla Dawn's not the UK Women's Champion. But she is playing the role of Adam Cole over on that show by stealing the belts. So that Rey Mysterio roll up over The Miz, real big deal in the annals of roll up history here, because now Rey Mysterio leads the pack with the most roll up wins for the year so far, and not only that, The Miz leads for the most roll-up losses this year. So that was pivotal in our tally here on the show. And here's where we stand with the Raw roll-up standings. Raw with a 4-point lead over AEW with its 10. Impact following closely behind with 9. And per hour of television, Gary, I think UK is doing pretty significant numbers for roll-ups there. So, all right, joking aside, let's get into making some picks. We have NXT with a really big show coming up this weekend. Before we get there, though, we got to talk about the matches that are happening this week on NXT 2.0. We've got actually 7 matches announced for NXT tonight. So 2 of them roll over into Stand and Deliver. We'll talk about them separately. So first comes first, we've got Bodie versus Von Wagner. Now, this is a match, John Smith, that has your name written all over it. What's going to happen here?
Oh, we're going to get some classic Bodie and Chase U stuff, and it's going to be – I think they'll have like a good match, and, Von Wagner will end up dominating him in the end, but Andre Chase is going to get involved to where it's not like a 30-second squash or anything like that, in my opinion.
All right. John Smith has picked Von Wagner. Gary, you were schooling me earlier on soccer. Does Chase University have a chance here?
Oh, unless they've got some sort of scholarship scheme for that side of it, I'm not sure. But I don't think so. I'm with John on this. I think Von Wagner and his features are gonna take this one.
Von Wagner and his features, John Deconnie. That's the features are leading the pack for Gary on this one. Any dispute here? Are you going to be the person who holds it down for Chase University?
I mean, as much as I think it would be hilarious if they did some kind of thing, in honor of the tournament going on. Oh, it's a Cinderella story, and it would get Von Wagner off on the wrong foot with Robert Stone and this, that, and the other thing. If I had to put money on it, I'd stay in Von Smash.
Von Smash. Yeah, I make it a clean sweep. Von Wagner, he is the Essential Wrestling Podcast pick for that match. No disputes here. We do have Briggs and Jensen versus Legado del Fantasma, and I am gonna go straight back to John Smith to lead us off again on this one because I know you're a Legado guy. But in fact, you're even wearing the shirt. But Briggs and Jensen, they're the new guys. They're the young guys, the APA of this generation, I suppose. So, what do you say?
They're more of a comedy sideshow for now. So I'm going to go with Legado on this one. Once they start racking up the wins and they start taking them seriously, then we'll probably get like an APA sort of situation out of them where they're just like 2 rough, tough guys. But for now, the one dude's still just trying to get laid. So I'm going with Legado.
Gary, I don't think he ever has been, and I think that's potentially his issue. So Briggs and Jensen or Legado.
I'm going to go Legado as well. I actually thought they'd have been up in the main roster by now, to be fair. I think they're a really good unit. So I'm going to go Legado as well. So.
Okay. John Deconnie, care to make it a clean sweep again? Or are you feeling something with Briggs and Jensen?
Yeah, I think just for giggles, I'll go with Briggs and Jensen here because I could see a scenario where the ladies get involved outside. I'm assuming they'll have Fallon Henley with them, Briggs and Jensen, and Elektra. Her and Elektra will no doubt go at it. And, you could have Wilder Mendoza eat a pin here and, it does nothing negative to Santos.
I'm going to go with John Deconnie. Split decision. We're 50-50 on this one, guys. But John Deconnie brought up the ladies. And since John Deconnie is bringing up the ladies, I'm going to throw this next one to him. Ivy Nile is getting a match with Tiffany Stratton tonight. What say you? Ivy Nile is pretty dominant. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a bad night for Tiffany Stratton. And he's going to get a very manic phone call from her afterwards after she probably gets stretched by Ivy Nile.
But Gary, Tiffany Stratton can do hard things, right?
Well, not a lot you can say to that, really. No, I'm with John on this with Ivy 9. I can't see Tiffany Stratton hasn't exactly set the world on fire just yet. Sure, time will come, but for the minute, Ivy 9. So,
all right, John, what do you think, John Smith?
This one's actually really hard to pick for me because I don't know where they're going with each girl right now. They've already had Stratton eat a pin. I'm going to go with her on this one. I'm going to have her beating Ivy Nile. Maybe a nice roll up. Maybe a rematch on the pre-show on Saturday or something.
Well, I can't agree with you, John. I'm going Ivy Nile.
Okay.
Courageous pick there, I think, but I'm going to go with Ivy Nile. Two more segments, I guess, to talk about on NXT. We Draco Anthony versus Joe Gacy, John Deconnie.
Oof. I know Draco's going to have Zion Quinn in his corner, but Gacy will have his big lunatic there, Harlan. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Gacy here.
All right, Gary, what do you say?
Yeah, I would agree. I think that he and Harlan are going to be the partnership that they're going to be looking at for a while. So I would say Joe Gacy as well.
John Smith, are you caring to be different here?
I think so. Yeah. Because they could just run this back on Saturday also, and then they're going somewhere with the whole Zion Gacy thing, I think. So yeah, give me the upset on this one, possibly another roll up.
I'll go with John Smith on this, and situations like this we need a fifth person because we are 50-50 on this one. So. All right. Well, here is the headline for the last segment I have to talk about. And John is our senior NXT correspondent. I need to get your points on this headline that's on WWE.com. Nikita Lyons is set to roar. I don't know what that means, but I think she's probably going to squash somebody.
Yeah, I hope she has another creative way of pinning this time. You know, I'll go with it. I'll go with the one she used last time, but you know, I'd like to see something different this time. See how flexible she really is.
All right, John and Gary, any comments on this activity?
Just looking forward to it.
All right. Well, that said, let's kick things over. Start talking about NXT Stand and Deliver. That is this weekend. We have some. Here are our NXT standings. Karl sits on top, but Gary, you're just a couple of points behind here. It's just kind of crazy, but there it is. And here are the points for the matches. 25 points for the NXT title match, 15 points for all other title matches, 5 points for non-title matches. Interpromotional matches get a 5-point bump. And I think that, if I'm not mistaken, our main event should be interpromotional. Kickoff matches will count. Perfect pay-per-view bonus is 30 points. So, yes, that 5-point interpromotional does count. So, a lot of points at stake here. When we look at our overall standings, I still have a commanding lead, but, man, there are a lot of points out for this weekend. So, we'll see if John Deconnie is able to catch, or if Al can catch. So, or, you know, stranger things could happen, John Smith. How you feeling?
I'm looking at a perfect week, and I'm going to upset you all.
Okay. You know what? If you go perfect on all this, I think you will, because a perfect pay-per-view on Sunday, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is 100-point bonus.
I think it's 105 because it's also interpromotional.
Great. All right. So Stand and Deliver is the topic du jour. But before we get there, this week on NXT, Imperium, Gary, these are your guys. Imperium will be facing off against LA Knight and MSK. Now that's a preview of 2 matches on the Stand and Deliver card. So we'll pick this 6-man tag first. And Gary, I'll throw it to you since it's Imperium.
Oh, I'll never go against Imperium and big Gunther. Let's see, never go against him. I will back Imperium all the way.
All right, John Smith, I know the rivalry is strong between you and Gary. Are you with Imperium or MSK on this one?
I'm going with
in LA
Imperium also because Walter, like I've said, he's my favorite current wrestler going. And that slap that he put on Duke Hudson's chest last week, the one that got the holy bleep chant. You ever have a slap get a holy bleep chant before? I don't think so. That was awesome.
John Deconnie, you putting it. I don't know if Gunther is losing any matches. He shouldn't, I don't think.
No, I don't believe he should, so I don't think he will here. I think his boys may have a tall order on Saturday alone, but I think when they stand together, Gunther leads the way.
I think you're right. And so on Saturday, now we have Gunther against LA Knight. Going right back around, I think that we should be able to do this one quick, guys. Let's see how quick we can make these predictions. John Deconnie.
Gunther.
John Smith. Oh,
this one's really tough, actually. I mean, it seems obvious that Gunther's going to win, but I feel like LA Knight's like the next like face of NXT. I'm gonna go with Gunther though.
Gary.
Yeah, I'm gonna go LA Knight. No. Gunther.
Yeah, I think you have to go Gunther on this one. So that's the way I'm going. Now, this next match, though, this one might not go that way. And Gary will go back around the other way this time. It's Imperium versus the Creed Brothers versus MSK for the tag team titles.
Creeds.
I think that's how a lot of people are going to go here, John Smith.
Yeah, I like the Creeds on this one also. Plus, I'm curious to see what happens with MSK after I saw a tweet from Kimberly earlier today.
Yeah.
I saw that. I think it's worth bringing up that Nash Carter is being accused of something, and if he doesn't come clean with it, then she's going to come out with it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that means, but we might not even see MSK on Sunday for all we know. Saturday.
Man, it's too bad to hear. I hope that they figure out what's going on. Nash Carter comes clean if he's got something or whatever.
Right.
Now, I'm not picking MSK. I'm with you guys. I'm picking the Creed Brothers. And John Deconnie, you've been on that train since the start. So since the start of the Dusty tournament, you veering here?
Yeah, I think it was all set up to put them at the top of the tag team heap at NXT 2.0, and I think this is where it culminates. So give me the Creeds.
Well, not a whole lot of variation in our picks today. Let's see here. We got a comment coming in from James Wheeler. He says, LA Knight wins. The Creed Brothers win the tag titles. Then Imperium gets called up to SmackDown, and they face the Bloodline in a 6-man tag match for the titles at WrestleMania Backlash. Wait,
That's
6-man tag match for the titles.
For all the
I think
titles.
that's being generous, James. I like your idea. The 6-man tag that could main event a pay-per-view. I'd be fine with that, but I don't think the titles will be on the line.
That's like really long-term booking. A pressed fast forward though. Like, maybe SummerSlam, not WrestleMania, not WrestleMania Backlash. I mean,
I think you could, yeah, because WrestleMania Backlash is going to be rematches, right? And a little bit of differentiation in there, but yeah, I like the idea of main eventing a pay-per-view with a 6-man tag like that. No title on the line, and then maybe one of the Usos or Bartel and Eichner, one of those eats a pin, and it sets up kind of a Gunther and Roman match. I've been saying they should have put Gunther right on the main roster from the beginning. I don't think he needed to do his tour of duty at 2.0, but whatever. Stand and Deliver continues, though, with Tomasa Champa and Tony D'Angelo. Champa comes out, basically gives his retirement speech a few weeks ago, and Tony D'Angelo just would be his honor to help him write that final chapter. But, he was a nice guy for all about 3 minutes, John Smith.
yeah, But I think he's going to come out and win this one. I think this is like Tomasa going out on his back, and he's going to be on Raw on Monday, on the next Monday after that. So yeah, I'm going with Tony on this one.
John Deconnie, do you agree? Is this the swan song of Tomasa Champa, and he's going to lose as he leaves the territory?
Yeah, everything points in that direction. So give me Tony Pichaline here. Take the victory.
Gary, you gonna make it a clean sweep? There's not much variation in our picks down the.
See, you're all just waiting for my picks because I'm doing so well in the standings. That's what it is. No,
you're right.
Yeah. No, yeah, I would say that Champa doing the honors on the way out, and Tony D'Angelo taking it as well. Yeah.
And Tony D'Angelo, like, sometimes his matches aren't the absolute best, but at the same time, he's only had like 10. So he's doing pretty damn good for that. And he's going to be in there with Champa. So it might be a great match. And hopefully, Champa's done a lot of those main event shows, and he's been on the main roster a bunch. So yeah, let's move him up and see what he can do on the main roster. Tomasa Champa versus Finn Balor, for some reason, just is sticking out to me as like a great, great match that we need to see. So in the women's division, this thing took a turn last week. We had the Dusty Cup finals. Io Shirai, Kaylee Ray win the thing. We were just hoping that they would just split up and we'd be able to get an Io versus Kaylee grudge match type of thing at this show. And we didn't quite get that. But we are going to get Io versus Kaylee and Cora and Mandy Rose, and it's all for the NXT Championship. John Deconnie, you were with me on we wanted to see the Io and Kaylee split. Where do you stand now? Who's going to leave with this title?
I just have this sinking feeling that this is their way to put it on the upstart. And I don't even know that I feel great about Cora Jade getting the title, but when anyone can take a finish from Kaylee Ray, can take a finish from Io, and then Cora can jump in and, jump on Mandy's carcass after he's taken 3 finishers, I think Cora Jade might walk away from this with this one.
Now, this is tough, Gary, because Kaylee Ray, the forever champion, is in the match. John's right. Nobody, Cora could win by pinning anybody. But to me, when I look at this, I'm like, man, they're going to do Kaylee Ray dirty like that and make her take the pin. Io Shirai doesn't seem pinnable to me. And, Mandy Rose seems the most pinnable person to me. But where do you stand, Gary? Is Kaylee Ray going to come away with this?
No. I sat and looked at it and thought, how do I go? And I do think that their split will come in the match. But this is the one match where I'm going to say the champion walks in and the champion walks out. I'm going to go Mandy Rose for it. So,
okay. John Smith, Io Shirai's got quite a resume.
After looking at all these matches, I really feel like this is the only title that stays on its channel. Like, I don't think they're going to have every title change hands. So that's really the only reason I'm picking Mandy, honestly, is it's so hard to pick. And, one of them's got to stay on somebody. And I don't think it's going to be Hayes, So, yeah, we're going with Mandy.
Man. Strong arguments, guys. I think, I was leaning towards Cora Jade, but, man, now you have me waffling on this. So I guess I'll stick with Cora Jade for now. Maybe tonight's NXT will change my mind, but I'll stick with Cora Jade, and we got a 50-50 split again. But this could make the difference in the points and the standings there if you go perfect on this. Up until this point, we had not varied on any matches, so interesting. James Wheeler says he is not ready for the toxic era to be over. So I guess thank you, James. You are the tiebreaker. Now we have more people in favor of Mandy Rose keeping the title. Not in favor, predicting. Yeah, doesn't indicate favor. On tonight's episode of NXT, our 7th match to pick for the show tonight, we have the sort of the last chance ladder match qualifier with Cameron Grimes, Roderick Strong, and A Kid. And Gary, the UK is well represented in the in the proceedings here. I'm wondering, do you think A Kid makes his big splash? Does he make it to the show? And there are good reasons for him not to, but what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, my heart says yes. I mean, I want to go and say that A-Kid will take it, but I just don't see how, given the video package that they've done for Cameron Grimes and all this stuff about his dad and what he said, I can't see how he doesn't go into it. I really don't. So as much as I want to pick A-Kid and say, make a star in 2 nights, tonight and then on Stand and Deliver, I'm going to actually say Cameron Grimes will take it and go through.
Now, the interesting thing is Roddy Strong has a match against Dragunov in 2 weeks for the NXT UK title. Without that little piece of information, Roddy Strong is the most pinnable guy in this match. He seems to take, pin all the time. And now I look at so maybe A Kid has to eat the pin even in this. So John Smith.
Yeah, I'm going with Cameron Grimes. You can't keep Cameron Grimes off the pay-per-view. No way.
Yeah, I'll be interested to hear when we make the ladder match pick in 2 seconds if everybody's going Cameron Grimes' way as well. John Deconnie.
Yeah. Just because I want it to happen, I'm going with Grimes. No two ways about it.
Yeah, I got to go with Grimes, and I'm thinking A Kid's going to be the one to eat the pin. So Gary, to me, it sounds like Kaylee Ray might eat a pin. A Kid might eat a pin. I don't know what's going on here. If Gunther eats a pin, then we know there's a conspiracy against you guys. It's like Shawn Michaels and Vince McMahon are still bitter about the Revolutionary War or something. And James Wheeler, and I think this is an indication that Cameron Grimes is going to the moon. So he agrees with us as well. So all that to set up the North American Championship ladder match that will be on the show this weekend. NXT Stand and Deliver. Carmelo Hayes versus Santos Escobar versus Solo Sikoa versus Grayson Waller versus one of the 3 guys we were just talking about. Everybody here has picked Cameron Grimes. John Smith, are you taking Grimey all the way here? Is he going to get some gold?
This is really tough too. The only one I can't see winning this. Oh man, my box fell. The only one I can't see winning is Carmelo. Do I just go with my heart and take Santos? I mean, Grimey's got this video package, like you were saying. Grayson Waller has been pushed to the moon, no pun intended. I mean, even Solo Sikoa gets gets a lot of heat from the crowd in a good way. I'm going to go with Grayson Waller.
Grayson Waller. Okay.
Yeah, I could see him in my mind celebrating on top of that ladder, like pointing at everybody and laughing. I'm going with Grayson Waller.
Gary, the A-Champ kind of called his shot here, and he's been booked very strong. Is it as simple as he's just going to retain?
No, again, this is. I think there'll be a change here, and I actually have it down to 2. I almost can't decide. I think that Grimes will get through and he'll win tonight, but I think that Grimes will be the last moment as he goes to climb up the ladder and the crowd going, "Yeah, here we go," and he'll get shoved off the ladder by Solo Sikoa, who will then run up and take it. And then that'll kind of start the whole, oh, yes, so your family's just kind of start the Bloodline 2.0, let's say,
okay.
On NXT. So I'm going to go Solo takes it.
Love James Wheeler, let me know who you're taking in this match, because so far we've got a Grayson Waller, we've got a Solo Sikoa. John Deconnie, where do you stand?
That Grayson Waller really, really sticks out in the way he's been booked. It really kind of feels like his match to lose, but I'm going to go with my heart on this one and put the belt on Grimes just because I want it that way. Please happen.
I'm feeling like my vote is going to be, because I have so much uncertainty about the other guys. You guys have all picked differently. I'm going to pick for the champ retaining. And I may come to regret it, but he has been booked. Carmelo Hayes has been booked very strong, and the only reason to take it off him, I think, is that he's going for the other belt. So I'm picking Carmelo Hayes. James Wheeler says Waller or Grimes. Well, we have to pick one. I guess you don't have to.
Yeah, if you got 2 picks, you got none. That's the way I see it. Like in the NFL, if you got 2 quarterbacks, you got none.
All right, main event time. It is the NXT Championship. Braun Breaker, can he regain the title? 2-time champion. He faces off against Dolph Ziggler, the current NXT champ. John Deconnie, I don't think we've started with you. Is this all about, Rick Steiner gets in the Hall of Fame the night before? Is this a whole big Steiner weekend or what?
Well, I don't know if we talked about it on the show that followed this particular match, but they're very odd who they give a pat on the back in their hometown or on their birthday or this, that, and the other thing. They took the belt off Breaker on Rick Steiner's birthday, or like the show that happened a day afterwards. So I don't know if there's any heartstrings involved here, but I just think that NXT 2.0 is pretty much Braun Breaker, so I've got him taking his title back.
Now, John Smith, on the other hand, couldn't we just put Breaker on the main roster and just make him beat everybody and make his experience there?
I'd like to see that happen. If it wasn't a main roster guy with the NXT title, I could see them doing that. But if he goes to the main roster, his first feud would have to be with Dolph Ziggler anyway, and he's still got the championship. I don't like the idea of Braun Breaker being on that short list of 2-time champions, but I think he's going to be. So, yeah, I'm going with him.
Gary?
Yeah, I can't see any other way other than Braun Steiner winning it. So I think that, as you say, it'll be a Steiner Friday, Saturday deal. So Breaker will take it.
Yep, I've got Braun Breaker here too. James Wheeler chiming in. If Dolph Ziggler wins, Braun Breaker's a breakout star on the main roster. See what he did there. If Braun Breaker wins, hopefully Dolph Ziggler stays on the main event picture on Raw. Now, I don't know if he means like working for the main event title or working on the main event show, because those are 2 very different things. But Veer Mahan is coming to Raw on April 4th, so there is an open spot on the main event show. So I'm not sure which way you meant there, but they both kind of work, I guess. Our guy, he says title picture. I like that there was ambiguity there. All right, like I said, this is a big show. Lots of points on the line. Karl did send in his picks. He has picked Braun Breaker to win, Cora Jade to win, 2 title changes there. Carmelo Hayes retained, so I guess he's with me. The Creed brothers, he says, are going to win. So he's got 3 title changes here, Champa and Gunther. So not a ton of variation in all of our picks, but things got a little confusing around the North American Championship and the Women's Championship. So, all right. We are going to move on to NXT UK. And if John Smith and John Deconnie thought that for 1 second I was not going to make them pick the UK matches, they are wrong. We're not doing a full break here for UK. We're not going to do a full recap, but Gary, somewhere in the commentary here, you got to tell us what's going on with Isla Dawn and Meiko Satomura, because Isla Dawn has made off with the women's championship. But the first match, I guess we'll keep it in the women's division. It's Amal French Hope versus Zaya Brookside.
Oh, me?
Yeah, who you got?
Sorry, I was the way word of moving there. As much as I would generally have picked Amal and said, she'll go over because Brookside can throw a hissy fit. Zaya did say on her telephone call that was spotted backstage on the NXT show, NXT UK show this week, she was on the phone to her dad and said, "It's time." So I'm going, whether Robbie turns up or not as well, I don't know. But I'm going to say that Zaya Brookside is actually going to, by hook or by crook, beat Amal. So,
you think she's got a title shot in her future?
Zaya?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I would think so. I would think that at some point that she'll get something soon enough. Yeah.
BRB.
Oh, John Smith really didn't want to do these. And just for that, his office falls apart. John Deconnie, Zaya Brookside, or Amal?
I'm going to go with the pick that I'm sure Karl would have made if he was here, and go with Zaya Brookside.
Yeah. I'll pick Amal. She's, they've had some really great video packages, and Zaya Brookside just whines. So I'll pick Amal. There's nothing on the line. So Trent 7 versus Ashton Smith, and I'm going to throw this to you, John Deconnie. This is all about one half of the tag champs facing off against one of the future contenders for the tag champs. So a couple of weeks ago, I don't know if it was last week or whatever, Tyler Bate got upset. So what do you say here? Does Smith and Carter go 2-0 in singles competition against Mustache Mountain?
Yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense, and then that gets them one more shot at the tag title. Or because they already had a shot at the tag titles, right?
They did have one. Yep.
Yeah. So this is how they secure their next shot.
Yep, they've already secured the next shot. So it's kind of a weird situation. With the other match, they secured it. But Gary, I guess there's a little dissension, little bits of dissension between Bate and Seven, and perhaps Bate loses, Seven wins, and this kind of furthers the debate.
Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen, because Seven's been sort of cheating slightly, been a wee bit heelish or whatever in it. So I think that it'll be the same in some way, shape, or form. Something happen and he'll eke it out, and it'll be 1-1 going into the title match.
Yeah. Seven has rule breaking on his side, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, good. John Smith has returned for the Heritage Cup conversation. We have Noam Dar defending the Heritage Cup championship against Mark Coffey. Gary, we'll start with you. You probably got the most. You do have the most knowledge on this subject. So, do we have a new Heritage Cup winner?
No.
Holder?
Very quick and easy. No, I can't see it. I know they've tried that with all of Gallus, and sort of they've all taken their turns, but I can't see at the minute. I think that it'll not be too far down the line until he loses it, but I think at the minute, Supernova 11, you're going to still have Noam Dar's and still champion.
And still. All right, John Smith. Noam Dar, does he run away with it, or do the Gallus boys on top?
Wait, who's he fighting?
He is fighting Mark Coffey.
Mark Coffey?
Yeah.
Give me the coffee man. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what they call him, right? He's the coffee man. He comes out like a barista, right?
Well, that's his brother Joe.
If he was an NXT, that would be his gimmick.
Right. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
John Deconnie.
I'm not sure who I would pick to beat Dar for this Heritage Cup. So, but I've not met the person yet. So give me Noam Dar.
Yep, I'll stick with Noam Dar as well. Okay, real quick, just because I forgot to do it. We were talking about NXT UK. Now we're talking about SmackDown. Okay. All right, over on the Blue Brand, we have 2 matches to pick. The Intercontinental Championship not represented on the WrestleMania card, which is unfortunate, because usually when it is, it steals the show, especially, with the recent passing of Scott Hall, you think about that. With Seth Rollins looking for a match, you think about that. So Intercontinental Championship will be represented on SmackDown this week, and it will be, I don't know if this is a triple threat or if it's a handicap match, but it is maybe John Deconnie, I don't know. Ricochet will be defending against Humberto and Angel.
Yeah, they're calling it a straight up triple threat match, but I mean, and I guess this is where I start to think that Vince doesn't, like to break up every tag team, because you put these guys in there where it basically is a handicap match, even though you're not calling it that. But then at some point, one of them is going to pull the other one off of a cover, and they'll start fighting with each other and blah, blah, blah. And I think Ricochet retains because of that.
Gary?
Yeah, I would say Ireland's favourite Intercontinental Champion, Ricochet, will take it, and I think he'll win. And as you said in pre-production, it could be a case of holding them off in case somebody suddenly goes down with COVID on Saturday. Then they can always throw him on for 10 minutes to just kind of do his stuff. So I'm going to go Ricochet, yeah.
James Wheeler says it's going to be a full year since the Intercontinental Championship has been defended on a premium live event. I had noticed, but was not keeping track. That's crazy that it's been a full year. Very, very interesting. Wow. The last one, I'm sure it was defended last year at WrestleMania, so that means that was probably the last one, I guess. Wow, crazy. All right, well, the match that is just too big for 2 nights of WrestleMania. We have the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. The contestants that we know based on the graphic that are in the match are Shelton Benjamin, Cedric Alexander, Tozawa, Drew Gulak. We haven't seen him since the Intercontinental Championship was last defended on a premium live event. Reggie, Apollo Crews, Commander Aziz, Eric, Ivar, Madcap, Moss Mansour, R-Truth, Shanky, Damian Priest, Finn Balor, Robert Roode, and Jinder Mahal. Not Mustafa Ali. So here are the previous winners. The first one was won by Cesaro. The second by Big Show. Baron Corbin, Mojo Rawley, Matt Hardy, Braun Strowman, and Jey Uso. We have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Andre the Giant Battle Royals. Only 2 people that have won the Battle Royal remain with the company. So I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing to win this thing. But John Smith, I know you have been racking your brain. You've had lots of ideas about this. Who do you think is going to win this guy?
I think Jinder Mahal deserves to win it, but he's not going to. I'm going to go with Damian Priest on this one. Kind of his like consolation for not being on the show. Not, he was such a central part of, he wasn't in the world title, but like the secondary title picture for almost a year. And now he's just not on WrestleMania. So I'll go with Damian Priest on this one.
And he was also a very key figure at last year's WrestleMania with the Bad Bunny match. I mean, that was a big deal. Bunny Destroyer and all. James Wheeler says it's weird seeing Finn Balor in the match as the United States champion. Same for Damian. So, John Deconnie, over to you. Now, I will mention Gable Steveson says he's going to be at WrestleMania. This would be WrestleMania SmackDown because we just had WrestleMania Raw. Is there a chance it's Gable Steveson?
Yeah, there's certainly a chance. I mean, there's also another spot where there's a chance that he could get plugged in, but I think probably the most likely scenario is that he's sitting front row. Maybe he jumps the barrier and gets involved somewhere. But like they introduce him earlier in the show that some people who don't know who he is goes, "Oh yeah, there's that guy. I know that name." As for the Andre, my pick for the last 3 months was Omos, and then they took that away from me. So I'm going to agree with John Smith and say Damian Priest. They had to have taken the title off of him to get him ready for something big. This is what it turns out to be.
I wish there was a prize besides getting your name on the trophy. I wish it was like you get a title match or something, even if it's on the Raw after WrestleMania. That would be great. Anything. They could really use it to make like a key star or whatever. But Gary, you got the United States champion here. You've got the Intercontinental champions in the other match, so he's not here. But pretty much everybody on the roster that's not on Mania, here they are. Who do you think?
I'm going to go the opposite way. I mean, my head for a long time had said, yeah, Damian Priest was a cert. But I'm actually going to go the opposite of the John Smith. I'm going to say that Hulk Hogan's favorite Canadian Indian wrestler, Jinder Mahal, is going to take it. So I'm going to go Jinder Mahal for the win.
All right. I'm going to pick Shanky.
No, you're not.
If there were points on the line, I certainly would not. It's just, I think you have to pick either Damian Priest or Finn Balor because they're the two sort of high profile guys in the equation. It wouldn't make sense for it to be any other way. So I like Priest. I know. I guess, sorry, Gary, to kind of discount your pick there like that. I guess you could also pick Jinder Mahal, but I like Priest as well. I mean, he went unpinned for a whole year, so I give it to him. All right. With that said, Gary, anything that you'd like to say before the WrestleMania special that we do on Friday? You're going to be taking off here.
I mean, I do have my fingers crossed that maybe for this three-way match on NXT tonight with Cameron Grimes and so on, I maybe have my fingers crossed that Jenny might come into it and they might make it a four-way, and maybe that you'll have Jenny. Jenny could well be the X factor that just takes that stand and deliver to the next level. But we'll see.
All right, hang on. Look, we got to go back then. Sorry, we got to go all the way back to the NXT show. Now you've inserted Jenny into from the women's division of NXT UK. You have inserted her into the North American Championship ladder match qualifier. And you're saying that she's going to disrupt things, possibly get through. Do you want to modify your pick for the ladder match? Like, is Jenny going to walk away with the North American Championship?
I'm going to keep my pick as it is, but I mean, I can't say about the sources. I don't want to give too much away. Like.
Well, if all this shakes out, you guys will have to know that Gary must be an inside guy. So, all right. Joking aside, thank you, Gary. Pleasure as always.
See you later. Have a good one.
All right. We'll take Gary out, update the nameplates, and we will hear from James Wheeler, who says Damian Priest wins the Battle Royal by eliminating Finn Balor. Damian Priest wakes up the demon. Damian versus the Demon for the United States Champion at WrestleMania. So this is be a way to set up the WrestleMania match. You know what? That'd be great if we actually could work something in, work an angle to get to a match at Mania. Then it would be worth having it on SmackDown, I guess. So good idea.
Yeah, there are some open spots in that WrestleMania card. There certainly is some more time that can be filled there. If that's one of the ones that fills it, makes a lot of sense. It gets another title on the WrestleMania card. I like it.
Yes. All right, guys, we are going to be switching over to Impact. Impact has a big show this weekend. It is called Multiverse of Matches. Sorry, it took me a second there to come up with the name. So Impact has that, but before we get there, we do have a few matches to pick that are on Impact Wrestling this week on Thursday. Starting first with Johnny Swinger and Zicky Dice versus two mystery opponents in John Deconnie, the Swingers Chump Challenge. I'm assuming it's two, but I could also see, with the big guy coming out and beating them both.
Well, if Madman Fulton wasn't already in a match, I could definitely see it being him and him wiping the floor with those two. Either way, I think these two find a way to lose, and Swinger blames it on Zicky Dice, and that figures out how much practice he's going to get down in Swinger's dungeon. So, I'm gonna be Tyler Adele here and go with the question marks.
It just figures, we're going to get a nice training video package before this of Zicky working out in the Swinger's dungeon. John Smith, Are you going with the question marks versus the? I don't want to call them both job guys, but they certainly lose more than they win.
Yeah, give me question marks also.
Yeah, easy pick here. Another easy pick might be in the Josh Alexander and Madman Fulton match that's on this Thursday show. John Smith. The only way I see this not going Josh Alexander's way is if there's outside interference.
Yeah, I agree.
John Deconnie.
Yeah, give me Josh Alexander. I don't know that he gets Madman up for the C4, but an ankle lock will certainly get the job done.
Okay. John Deconnie, the current Ring of Honor champion, versus somebody from Honor No More, Kenny King, on the show this Thursday. To me, Gresham's not losing any matches here before Friday, so I'd go Gresham. But
yeah, I certainly would think not. In fact, maybe Honor No More surrounds the ring and they get tossed out early on to make this nice and clean, so that Gresham, the octopus, can stretch Kenny King.
Okay, John Smith.
Flip a coin for me, man. I don't watch it enough, unfortunately, to have an opinion on this match.
All right, heads or tails for Jonathan Gresham? Heads or tails?
Heads.
Gresham it is. I didn't have a coin, but I had my driver's license, so I flipped that.
All right.
My face was up. Bullet Club, Jay and Bay, Jay White and Chris Bay versus the Motor City Machine Guns. This should just be a great match. This should be a great match. I think where is it?
I think I know where you're going.
Winner is you, possibly candidate here for this match. John Smith, we'll go straight back to you. Bullet Club or the Machine Guns? That's kind of weird. I didn't even notice that. Bullet Club, Machine Guns. One kind of relies on the other.
The Machine Guns go to the Bullet Club to reload, right? I'm gonna go with the Bullet Club, though. I never pick against the Bullet Club.
Yeah. John Deconnie, Jay White's not losing any matches, right?
No, certainly not, especially not with the wonky end they had to the last one where Machine Guns won it, but Jay just missed breaking up the pin. He had an argument for the fact that the ref missed that afterwards, blah, blah, blah. Give me the Bullet Club.
Yep, Bullet Club all the way. Now, into a very weird show. It is called the Multiverse of Matches. So this is Impact guys, mostly against non-Impact people, or at least there's a good mixture. But we'll start off with perhaps maybe the highest profile match on the card. The Good Brothers will be wrestling the Briscoe Brothers. So this is a pick'em, John Smith. And by the way, I would mention this is the same night the Briscoes are facing FTR. This is happening. And it is not taped. So the Briscoes will have to drive across town to wrestle in this match after they win or lose against FTR.
Is that for real?
That's for real.
They're wrestling 2 matches in one day?
Yep.
And this isn't for titles, right?
No.
Because I know that they're the Ring of Honor title holders, I think, right?
Yep.
But yeah, I'm going to go with the Briscoes, though. I feel like there's no reason to bring them in just to lose right away,
Deconnie?
Yeah, I think this is exactly why the Good Brothers dropped their tag titles to Violent by Design, so that it didn't have to be, it's company versus company anyway, but at least the champs don't have to look bad against the champs from another company. So give me the Briscoes here.
Yeah. I'll pick the Briscoes as well, although there is kind of like the weirdness of the fact that, as far as I know, and as far as anybody knows at this point, Briscoes are unsigned talent. Even though Tony Khan has purchased Ring of Honor, Warner Media doesn't want the Briscoes on television. So whether or not Tony signs a deal with them is kind of yet to be seen. So it could be that the Briscoe brothers coming in to Impact after dropping the belts to FTR. So maybe they win one, lose one that night. We'll see. We'll pick that in a second. John Deconnie, Oh, I have to make a pick. Yeah, I'll pick the Briscoes. Okay, John Deconnie, Chris Sabin versus Jay White. I had the pleasure of already seeing this match actually, like last week. So for New Japan taping, but here we have it again.
Nice. Well, yeah, I think this is another candidate for winner is us, but I think Jay White continues to stay clean here on his American tour.
Yeah, John Smith.
Samesies.
Yep, me too. Makes for interesting debate. Eddie Edwards is going to be going up against Tomohiro Ishii. An interesting match. I don't know that I would have necessarily paired them together, but Edwards with a lot of experience working over in Japan. So, John Smith, you probably remember Ishii. He did appear on Dynamite at least once. So, thoughts on this match?
Ishii versus who?
Eddie Edwards, the franchise, so to say.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what you'd say.
Yeah, you got to go with the newly heel Eddie Edwards on this. This is his first big match since turning heel, right? He turned heel at the last one, didn't he?
Yeah.
John Deconnie, what was the timeline there? Was it last?
Yeah, it was the last Plus event, Impact Plus event. Yeah, and point of note on this one, because this is the multiverse. They're Ishii is representing New Japan. I guess because Ring of Honor doesn't really exist and Honor No More isn't technically a company, Eddie Edwards will be representing Pro Wrestling Noah in this match. And I do believe he will be getting the victory here.
Okay. Yeah.
Do all these matches count as inter-promotional matches? Are they all getting a bump on this thing?
Oh, I forgot to, thank you for bringing that up. Here are the Impact standings with me on only a 5-point lead. So I feel like this is deja vu. We just did this, John Deconnie, where I was defending my AEW title in the last show of the year. So now I'm in here defending this Impact title. Here we go. 15 points for Impact title matches. 9 points for all other title matches. 3 points for non-title. Interpromotional matches are getting a 3-point bump. Perfect pay-per-view is 15 points. He may have to make that, and I guess he's not considering the main event to be interpromotional. Otherwise, it would have to be 18 points. But I would say most of the ones that, I would say all of these are so far are interpromotional.
Yeah, I heard from Al earlier today. This card is actually going off under the Brock Lesnar rule. We don't really know. We assume it's going to be the Briscoes and the Good Brothers as the main event because for a little while there, that's the only match they really were talking about. I really didn't even know that this was an Impact card until the last 2 weeks. It was, okay, the Good Brothers are facing the Briscoes in this thing where a whole bunch of people are going to be on. Then all of a sudden it turned into a really good Impact Plus special. So this one is depends on who goes on to the main, what becomes the main event.
No, I don't even see this show on ProWrestlingPick'em.com on our pool.
It always should be there.
Yeah, it's not there. Not on my end, at least.
Well, it doesn't sound like John Smith will be getting any points for this show.
I'm sure it'll be up there by Friday.
All right. I think we left off with the Eddie Edwards and Ishii match. And Deonna Purrazzo will be doing the Champ challenge. Now, this is different than the Swingers Chump challenge. This is actually for real belts. And what's interesting about this is Deonna, of course, is the Ring of Honor champion. And unlike the Briscoe brothers, Tony Khan didn't want to make Deonna drive across town to defend the Ring of Honor championship. Or perhaps he wanted her to drive across town and lose the Ring of Honor championship, which would have upset the apple cart for this Champ challenge later in the night. So Ring of Honor actually has an interim championship match going on a little bit earlier in the day. So that'll be on a different station. So, but I have no concern about Deonna winning this and retaining her championship. But stranger things could happen with the whole Ring of Honor purchase, John Deconnie.
Yeah, so Supercard goes on earlier in the day.
Supercard goes on at 7. This card goes on at 10.
Okay, so
I mean, back to back.
I wonder if they let the ladies on Supercard work early enough that they the winner drives cross town, because at this point, who's left to show up to face Deanna, if not someone from Ring of Honor proper? So I've no doubt Deanna will win here. It's just at this point, I don't know where I'm drawing from anymore in terms of names, females to show up.
That's an excellent idea. Have that Ring of Honor women's match, like the first one on the card, and then have them drive across town to wrestle Deanna and unify the titles right then and there.
Yeah, unification by the end of the evening. There you go.
John Smith.
Well, if that were the case, then I think that they would have the interim champ win that one. But I'm going to go with Deanna in this because I don't think that's what they're going to do. That's too good of an idea.
Yeah, plus Tony Khan would lose the ability to book the match. I'm sure he wants to book the match, I will pick Deanna as well. Okay, so we are down to Josh Alexander and Jonah versus Moose and PCO. Now, this one is an all-impact deal, right? There's no outs. I mean, I guess you could say Jonah is representing New Japan, PCO is representing Honor No More, I guess. I don't know. What are they saying, John Deconnie? Do you know?
I think this one's just listed as a straight impact match.
Okay. Yeah, all impact guys here. John Smith, what do you like in this? Josh Alexander and Jonah, a weird team. Moose and PCO, not any less weird.
Yeah. Moose is still champ, right?
Yeah.
Champ?
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean PCO is an animal. I'm going with the two of them.
Okay.
Josh Alexander hasn't taken an L in a while anyway. He could take a tag team L.
But so Josh Alexander is getting the match at Rebellion. So to me, it doesn't make sense that you would pin Josh Alexander, John Deconnie. But then Jonah doesn't feel very pinnable either.
That is exactly my thinking. The only one I think who can eat a pin in this entire match is PCO, because he's the monster. He's undead. He sits up like the Undertaker, and nobody cares whether he wins or loses, as long as this 75-year-old man continues to do suicide planches to the floor. So, give me Josh and Jonah, and PCO eats the pin.
I'm going to pick Josh and Jonah as well, but I don't even know if this match is going to finish. This seems like one that might get tossed.
Yeah, thank God this one's not on AEW, because then definitely PCO's eating the pin.
Alex Shelley versus Speedball Mike Bailey. So this should be fast, this match. That's all. It should be very good. John, I don't mean that it will be a quick match. I mean that the pacing will be quick.
Yeah. Don't blink, or else you're going to miss a high spot repeatedly. I'm guessing that we're putting over Speedball Mike Bailey here with all the time we spent waiting for him to come out of Canada, and Alex Shelley's another guy that it doesn't matter if he wins or loses, he's still Alex Shelley, so we still love him. Give me Mike Bailey here.
Yeah, I feel like Alex Shelley's on the outs a little bit for taking time off. That's kind of how I perceive the situation. It's not based on anything. John Smith.
Yeah, I think it makes more sense for Speedball to win this one. I'm going with him.
Yep, me as well. Now, this is a crossover, this next match. This is NWA talent coming over versus the Impact guys. Chelsea Green and Matt Cardona versus Mickie James and Nick Aldous. Now, on one hand, you could say, oh, well, this is a Impact versus NWA match. But on the other hand, you could say it's an all NWA match because Matt Cardona is the NWA world champion. Chelsea Green is an NWA and Impact talent. Mickie James is an Impact and NWA talent. And Nick Aldis is an NWA talent. So, I mean, the the streams are crossed at best. John Deconnie.
Yeah, this one is very confusing. I'm glad that Chelsea finally made her heel turn to stand by her husband as a diabolical pairing here, and because of that, I guess I'm gonna go with Mickie and Nick. I don't really have a feel for this. I don't know if I don't think Matt or Nick will be involved in the finish, just because I'm sure they've got a big title match coming somewhere down the line at NWA, and I don't think they want to get that involved in the finish here. So it'll be between the ladies, and I'll say Mickie takes out some revenge on Chelsea for not helping her in her recent street fight.
Yeah, and to give everybody background, if they didn't watch the Crockett Cup, Nick Aldous did challenge Matt Cardona for the NWA World Championship, and he lost by disqualification. What happened was Jeff Jarrett was the official. Chelsea Green low blowed Jeff Jarrett. But by the time Jeff Jarrett turned around to see who did it, Mickie James was the only person standing there. So he DQ'd Nick Aldis. So and that was the main event of the Crockett Cup. So in the main event of the 2-night show, you had a DQ finish. And if they're protecting Nick and Cardona there, they didn't want either of them to lose. I think those two people are far away from the finish here, John Smith. So to me, it comes down to who's losing. Is it going to be Mickie or is it going to be Chelsea? Which one's more important?
I think Chelsea should be the one that gets the pin in this one. So I'm going to go with her and Matt Cardona.
The Cardonas. Yeah, it's a real pick-up. I don't know. This is another one that's a candidate for a no contest, I think. Since Nick lost at the Crockett Cup, I'm going to give the match here to Mickie and Nick in some way. Maybe the Cardonas just to get themselves disqualified. Okay. Fatal 4-way for the Knockouts Tag Team Championship. The Influence, the current champions, will be defending against Knockouts champion Tasha Steelz and her partner Savannah Evans, Giselle Shaw and Lady Frost, and also against Decay. So 4-way match. The Influence, Madison Rain and Tennille Dashwood. Not to be confused with the Inspiration, which is formerly known as the Iconics. So, John Smith, we'll go with you.
I'll just go with the Inspiration on this one.
They're not in it. They're not in it. Sorry,
did you just say they were in it?
No. The Influence are the current champs.
Oh,
and they're defending against Giselle Shaw and Lady Frost, Decay, and Tasha Steelz and Savannah Evans. Inspiration are nowhere to be seen.
I'll pass.
I'm going to say champs are going to retain here, John Deconnie. How about you?
I can see a pathway where they make Tasha a double champ, but I don't see it happening here. She had no in play with the Influence, so I will say I will agree with you that the champs retain.
I'll take the champs also, guys.
Okay, since our expert analysis had
definitive response from John Smith right there.
Okay. All right, and I saved it's probably the best for last here. It's the Ultimate X match, and it is for the X Division Championship. Trey will be defending against Chris Bay, Rich Swann, Willie Mack, Vincent, and Jordan Grace. So, John Smith, since you made such a definitive pick on the last match, I'll throw to you first again here.
Like Vincent as in Virgil?
No, Vinny Marseglia, I think what his actual name is. He's the guy with the dreads that you haven't seen since you haven't watched Impact in the last 8 weeks.
I'm gonna go with Chris Bay because I don't pick against the Bullet Club in Impact, and he's still in the Bullet Club.
Honey.
My heart wants to go with Jordan Grace just because they keep putting her in this situation, and I keep thinking like it's the X division. They want to keep you off balance and make things that don't make sense happen.
No limits.
But exactly, no limits, no boundaries, no sexual box to be checked. But I think Trey retains here.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to pick Trey Miguel, but I would like to see. I think it'd be first of all, Rich Swann and Willie Mack in the same match, kind of going against each other. There's something interesting there. I'd love to see Jordan Grace win. Vincent, maybe like Honor No More needs something, right? To
True.
They just need a little something. And Chris Bay, he's just been on.
Oh, I know who Vincent is. I I got you.
Okay.
He's a dude who looks
Caveman
like Rob
guy, right?
Yeah, you going to change your pick?
No.
Okay. All right. Okay, now that was the last show we had for points. We are going to switch over to, for the first time, you guys are going to be picking Ring of Honor matches. So we have not a ton of matches, but we have 6 of them to talk through here. So we are going to start with the Pure title. This is Josh the Goods Woods defending the Pure Championship against Wheeler Yuta. Now, refresher on the Pure rules: you get 1 closed fist, and you will be DQ'd on the second closed fist. You get 3 rope breaks in the match. After that, your opponent does not have to break. You can be submitted in the ropes. You can use the ropes as leverage when you go for the pin. All kinds of things are opened up after that. So, but Josh Woods, he's the guy who when Ring of Honor kind of closed down, he was the champ. He's defending against Wheeler Yuta, who got his application in for the Blackpool Combat Club. John Deconnie.
Yeah, if he had spent some time training with them, I might have a different pick here, but I'm going to go with Josh Woods retaining the Pure title.
Okay. Now, John Smith, Wheeler Yuta applying for membership in the Blackpool Combat Club is interesting because that is Regal, Daniel Bryan, and John Moxley. Daniel Bryan is a long-time Pure Wrestling champion, Pure champion from Ring of Honor. Maybe he got a few pointers, Wheeler Yuta. What do you think? Josh Woods or Wheeler Yuta in this match?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to have the title change. Not that you can take my opinion as anything in this, but yeah, I'm going to go with Woods on this one also.
I'm picking Wheeler Yuta. I think Tony Khan's like, get that belt on my guy. Josh Woods has been on AEW Dark twice. He even did an in-ring promo last time, but it was not good. So I'm thinking Tony Khan saw what he needed to see, and he's moving on now. No disrespect to Josh Woods because he's an excellent, excellent wrestler. Just wasn't his day on the mic that day. So Alex Zane, the Sauce, formerly known as Ari Sterling in NXT, is going up against Swerve Strickland. Isaiah Swerve Scott, Swerve Strickland, whatever you want to call him, his house. John Smith, Swerve, former NXT guy.
Yeah, give me Swerve on this one, mostly because I know who he is.
You don't know who? I mean, Ari Sterling, also a former NXT guy, so he was there too.
Who is he?
Alex Zane. I don't have a picture. Sorry.
I don't remember Ari Sterling. He must not have been around a while.
John Deconnie.
Yeah, I think he was just the couple of times that I saw him on NXT, he was definitely in the role of enhancement talent. So give me Swerve here. Yeah,
Swerve is AEW contracted guy. I'm sure Tony doesn't want to beat him. We'll go Swerve here. 2 AEW guys stepping up to the plate. One of them with deep, deep roots in Ring of Honor. That's Jay Lethal going up against Lee Moriarty. John Deconnie, right back to you.
Okay, so Jay Lethal is, he's like Eddie Edwards was to Impact. Jay Lethal is to Ring of Honor. So if he doesn't win this one, then I think a lot of people are going to start freaking out about just how Tony Khan intends to book Ring of Honor. So give me Jay Lethal. I think Moriarty's there just to give Jay a really good match. I think Jay will win though.
Yeah. John Smith.
Agreed.
Yeah. I'm not sure. This may be Jay Lethal heading right back to Ring of Honor. This might be him making some proclamation. You know, he did an interview on Rampage or Dynamite saying things have to change and he's got a plan or whatever. So this could be that. So I will pick Jay Lethal for sure. The interim Ring of Honor Women's Championship. This came up in discussion a few minutes ago, guys. We were discussing maybe this person is going to be answering the champ challenge from Deonna Purrazzo later in the night. That would be interesting. It's Willow Nightingale versus Mercedes Martina. Winner faces Deonna on another night, what was noted. So maybe that's out the window, or maybe it's just going to get sped up. But there is a note that the winner will face Deonna. So, John Deconnie, go to you. Willow or Mercedes?
If I'm not mistaken, Willow was the last person to face Roxy, right, on their last card before they tapped out.
That is correct. Yep.
And she certainly wasn't bad, but she seemed a little green to me. I mean, I guess it's kind of easy to say Mercedes because that'd be another great match when she eventually gets around to facing Deonna. So give me Mercedes.
Okay, John Smith.
Yeah, I'll go with Mercedes also.
James Wheeler also going with Mercedes Martinez. I'm going to pick Willow Nightingale just to be different. I like her a lot. I hope she lands on her feet. So I'll pick Willow Nightingale, and her versus Deonna would be fun for sure. All right, the unification match. Now, let me set this up. Bandito is the Ring of Honor World Champion. He was set to defend the Ring of Honor Championship at a final battle in December against Jonathan Gresham. Bandito got COVID, so he couldn't make the show, and they needed a main event. They sent Jay Lethal over. It was going to be Jay Lethal versus Jonathan Gresham, and the winner gets like the original Ring of Honor Championship belt. And that's the belt that Jonathan Gresham won, and he has been defending all over God's green earth. Now, Jonathan Gresham versus Bandito is the main event of Supercard for Honor. I believe it's the main event. It might be the semi-main based on the one match we have left to pick. But Gresham versus Bandito unification match. John Smith, I'll kick it over to you. Do you like Gresham being the guy, or do you think Bandito is going to be sticking around? Do you know who Bandito is?
No.
All right. I needed to do graphics for this one.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with Jonathan Gresham on this one. I've thought a lot about this, really weighed both guys' pros and cons. I'm going to go with Gresham via pinfall.
Okay. Well, that is important because, Gresham can beat you a lot of different ways, John Deconnie.
Absolutely. And I have put a lot of thought into this, and I am going to give my answer as a wrestling belt mark. The Ring of Honor, they brought out the old title. Gresham won it in that match against Lethal, and then they took it right back from him because he was touring around the country with a pretty crappy replica that they didn't even bother to put on a real leather strap. Every time he, put it over his shoulder, you could see all the little screws on the back and whatnot. You knew it was a, $200 replica. So I'm going to say they weren't really all in on Jonathan Gresham as the champion there. And I know Gresham has started his own little company, so he's going to be, I'm sure, touring around doing some of that. Not to say that he's done with the Ring of Honor or anything like that, because he is a phenomenal performer. But I'm guessing, I don't know a lot about Bandito, but I'm guessing that was their guy going in, and they want to continue with him, at least for now. So give me Bandito to unify and take the Ring of Honor world title.
I think in the end, we win no matter what. Bandito is an excellent wrestler. He's lucha. He wears a mask, and he's incredibly strong. I saw him. He's like lucha size, right? He's normal size. I was at a live event where Jeff Cobb came off the second belt or second buckle. Bandito caught him and slammed him. So like he's also incredibly strong. Jeff Cobb's not a small guy. So but an explosive wrestler, very, very good. And Jonathan Gresham is a wizard. So this match should be excellent. So I don't think we lose either way. I'm leaning towards Gresham because I think he has been such a big flag bearer, and I think that Tony Khan's going to want to get him under contract. But I also wouldn't be surprised if he loses and he gets both guys under contract. So, because Bandito coming in would be great with the Lucha Bros and all that stuff too. So, all right, finally, last match, and this is the one that's been last match for Ring of Honor, and it's been built up for a long, long time. Mostly on social media. We didn't seem like it was ever going to happen, but it also seemed like it was going to happen every time there was a big show announced. It's FTR versus Mark and Jay Briscoe. It's for the tag team titles. And I should note, not the AAA tag team titles. It's for the Ring of Honor tag team titles. John Smith, I know you know who the Briscoes are. I know you know who FTR is. This is a big match, and it's probably the main event of this show, I think. So what do you think?
And this is for the Briscoes titles?
Yeah, and I say it's the main event, but I also know the Briscoes have to drive across town, so it could be the opener just to kick things off strong. So
I don't know. I guess Tony Khan's going to want to take those belts off of them at some point. So why not make it FTR, who many consider the best tag team in AEW? So I'll go with FTR on that one.
John Deconnie.
Yeah, I mean, not knowing how or where the Briscoes stand, this one is, I mean, they are Ring of Honor royalty, but as you said earlier, not sure what Tony Khan's feelings are on them. Thank God this isn't for points. I'm going to go with the Briscoes, but I would not be the least bit surprised to see FTR win here.
I'm going to go with the Briscoes also. There's a lot of issues with the Briscoes not being able to be Tony Khan's current television partner, but maybe they'll talk that through and work it out. It's things that Jay said years ago on social media that he's recanted and apologized for. Maybe they can work that out with Warner Media. Maybe not. Maybe Ring of Honor won't have anything to do with Warner Media, so it won't matter. But I think that if you purchase Ring of Honor and you're going to actually try to launch it as a separate show, you need Jay Lethal, you need Jonathan Gresham, and you need the Briscoes. So why take the titles off the Briscoes, especially when there's bigger money to be made at a pay-per-view later on after you can actually put some oomph behind of FTR Briscoe story. So I will go with the Briscoes. Long-winded answer. All right, let's see. James Wheeler just hopes it reaches 5 stars. I'm not sure I mentioned he also picked Mercedes Martinez to win the ROH Interim Championship. All right, we have 3 more matches to pick. Should be kind of quick. These are from AEW Dynamite. It's what's been announced so far. After this, we will be getting out of here. John Smith, starting with you. It's Darby Allin versus Andrade in a match that I just feel like has been building for months, ever since Andrade tried to purchase the Sting's assistant from him.
I mean, Darby's like the golden child, I think. So even though I'm a big Andrade mark, I'm going to have to go with Darby on this one.
I love both these guys, actually. Darby Allin. Darby Allin and Sammy Guevara. Every time I watch a match with them, I think, man, these guys aren't going to have a long career. But Andrade has been known to bust out a really crazy move as well, sometimes getting tossed through burning tables, John Deconnie.
Very true. I almost don't know how Darby gets this. I mean, Yeah, obviously a coffin drop would get it done because it's just his finishing move. But I think maybe whatever that he's got that weird roll up that comes out of nowhere sometimes.
Yes.
That actually has a name on it, even though it's just a glorified
Last
roll-up.
Supper. The Last Supper.
There you go. Give me Darby Allin just because he's Darby Allin.
Yeah, I'm going to go Darby here, and I hope this is the end. Right? We've had the Andrade family office versus, various partners of Darby Allin for a long time. So I'm ready to move on. I hope they are too. We need to start setting up things for the next pay-per-view, which is Double or Nothing in May. So
there you go.
We were just talking about FTR and how much of a pick'em it is to face the Briscoes this Friday. Well, on Wednesday they have to face the Gun Club, and part of me says, John Deconnie, this should be an easy pick. And part of me says maybe something's up with the Pinnacle.
Yeah, and Tully was recently fired kind of unceremoniously, so he could get involved.
And this is heel on heel.
Yeah. I almost want to go with the Ass Boys because there's so many different weird ways they could make that happen, but I just can't. I can't pick against FTR unless it's a tag championship match, and this is certainly not that. So give me FTR.
John Smith, it has felt to me that FTR and pretty much everybody, the FTR has been sort of negotiating for the services of Bret the Hitman Hart coming in. Now, if Bret Hart would come in, they'd obviously would be baby faces and they would have no place in the Pinnacle. Perhaps the little switcheroo is going to happen here. Jericho just kind of washed his hands clean, get rid of Santana and Ortiz, bring in 2.0. Is there a chance that MJF has looked at the tag division and said, you know what the Pinnacle needs are some ass boys? Any chance of that?
Yes, I think that. I mean, I don't know. I don't think that's actually going to happen. The whole switcheroo thing, but I got the Ass Boys winning this one because they got Mr. Ass in their corner.
So it's always good to have Mr. Ass in your corner. Yeah, I'm picking the Gun Club too. Partly because I do think there's something up. FTR is going to go through for a transformation. The Pinnacle's getting shook up. I think FTR is going to be taken out of the Pinnacle. So it could be even Sean Spears or MJF interfering in this one. So we'll have to see. But I'm picking FTR with a major angle in this match. Perhaps the most interesting thing, we are approaching the Owen Hart Cup. There will be a men's and women's tournament. And we know that there is a tournament qualifier match that will be on Wednesday. We know that the Bunny is going to be in that match, Allie. What we don't know is who her opponent's going to be, but it is going to be a new signing for AEW. So I'm not picking the Bunny to win this match because it seems silly to sign somebody, bring them in, and have them lose. And John Smith, I'll throw to you, and I'll give you the only thing I got is, boy, Tony Storm just made a whole bunch of money with that OnlyFans. If I see that, I see dollars. I see signed Tony Storm.
I did not hear about her making.
Oh crap! You were the first person to sign up.
No. I knew all about the OnlyFans. What I'm saying is I did not hear about how much money she made off of the OnlyFans.
An incredible sign up first day. Yep.
I bet. And then, everything's clothed. Anyway, I'm going to go with the question marks. God willing, it is Tony Storm. We do need to see more of Tony Storm.
James Wheeler says, boom, Tony Storm. I think she's the leading candidate. I think because of that, it makes her an incredible free agent out there. So with obviously people will pay to see her, John Deconnie. Is that who we are potentially seeing this Wednesday?
That's who I'm going to be rooting for it to be. But just to throw a couple of other names out there, Ember Moon has been kind of going back and forth with Jade. so they could bring her in, let her advance to the second round of the Owen Cup, and then have Jade somehow, interfere, get her knocked out in the second round, and then she fights for the TBS title, blah, blah, blah. She loses there too. Anyway, but I think, I don't know if this is, they haven't gone out of their way to say this is a super amazing, stupendous, signing. So maybe it's just as easy as they brought in the spouse of someone and it's Mia Yim.
Oh, Yimitless. Could be a Yimitless signing. That's true. So those two names are out there, and Ember Moon, as her other wrestling name, Athena, has been making a lot of noise. So it could be just as likely her. So I got my money on question marks for this match. Yeah. I'm hoping it's Toni Storm because I always felt like she was under pushed. And I think she could get super, super over. So we'll see. That said, that's the end of our show. And like I mentioned at the top of the show, this is episode 99 of the Essential Wrestling Podcast. We were one away from episode 100. And it turns out that Mr. Al Karl is going to be on assignment for a few weeks, and he will be unable to be on the show. And we need him for episode 100. So we are going to put the pause button on the show. We will be here for our WrestleMania special, but then we're going to take a pause, and we will be returning sometime in May with our regular show, and we will have a big episode 100 celebration. But we will, after Mania, we will say goodbye for a short period of time until we say hello again. So that is that. Do stay tuned to all of our social medias to find out when we're coming back. It will be quite the event when we hit episode 100 and are back. So do look for that. All right. That said, let's talk about the primetime rundown. I hinted at it earlier when Gary was talking about football, soccer stuff, and John Deconnie made some Wayne Gretzky thing I didn't catch. Had I been watching the primetime rundown for all these years, I would know all about those things. So, you can watch the primetime rundown. They're on hiatus right now till after the NCAA basketball tournament, but they will be airing instant reaction segments all throughout March Madness. So do follow them on all their social media, especially the Eastern Observer YouTube page. Don't miss any of their episodes this month. It's going to be madness. I think we can only say that for the rest of the week. We have a new show, our new-ish show on the Eastern Observer. It's a couple months old now. Tyler Adele has the Sunday Sauce every Sunday afternoon, and his partner, Andrew Macaria, they bring you everything NHL and all the league's happenings. Get saucy this Sunday afternoon with the Sunday Sauce right here on all the Eastern Observer platforms. You can read the Body Slam Brigade newsletter. It goes out to 5,000 people or so. You can be one of them. Just subscribe for free at bodyslambrigade.com. I'll send you a quick column each week. I sent a letter out today with all of the matches from Joey Janela's spring break all the way through WrestleMania Night 2, all compiled into one single post. So you can quickly have access to that at your fingertips. So look for that. Do support our friends, the Black Cats NYC, with their album Free Cake out now. Play loud. You can hear it at all the different places. And as always, the EWP is sponsored by Pro Wrestling Pick'em, the internet leader in sports entertainment pick'em pools. Join us in the EWP public pool to play against us, which, by the way, join right now. Get used to the platform so that you're all set after WrestleMania when we start the new season. You can also create a private pool with you and your friends at pwp.com. Play against your friends and play against the universe. Make sure you join us this Friday for the Essential Wrestling Podcast WrestleMania special. It's going to be at 4 p.m. I'll be hosting it. We're going to go over each and every match, throw in our 2 cents, make our picks for the Super Bowl of sports entertainment. And we'll be back sometime in May for the Essential Wrestling Podcast. should be the same time, but that might change too. Do tune into all our social media to find out all about that. This is episode 99, and we are ending this chapter in the Essential Wrestling podcast. James Wheeler pops in, says, you might not know it, but TNT had a great lineup for Friday. Star Wars, The Empire Strike Backs before AEW Rampage, and after Rampage, it was Nacho Libre. So I guess watch your TNT even if wrestling's not on, is what James Wheeler has to say. John Smith, we're getting out of here, but you and King Kong Bundy have anything to say before we close out episode 99?
Nacho Libre is a very quality movie, great for all ages. So throw that out there. And also, the Super Bowl is the WrestleMania of football. It's not the other way around. Because WrestleMania week is the best week of the year, not Super Bowl week. You know, some could argue that the best football is played the game before the Super Bowl, actually. So, you know, go out there, watch some WrestleMania. Don't be a freaking tool and not watch it because it's WWE and you hate Vince. It's going to be an awesome 2 nights, and you're probably going to get your stupid Cody Rhodes. All right? But if they knew it was good for them, they would wait till Monday on that one because at least they'd get some ratings off of it.
Well, maybe that's the plan. Maybe there'll be a big announcement instead. You're right, and you know, it remind me. I'd like to save this for the WrestleMania special, but the Jesse Ventura line: "It's bigger than the Super Bowl. It's bigger than the World Series. It's WrestleMania." You know, yeah, you've inspired me there, John. John Deconnie.
Yeah, and I was perusing the Body Slam Brigade earlier today, and if you have a second, give it a read because it is absolutely staggering. Going off of what John Smith said, and I know I'm guilty of this too. A lot of people like to dump on Vince and the WWE product, and then the entire wrestling world descends on where they decide to have WrestleMania and tries to make a buck off of them because it is the biggest thing of the sports year. So enjoy the rest of this week. There is an amazing amount of quality wrestling going on.
I'm going to be glued to my chair starting Thursday, and I will not be getting up until WrestleMania Night 2 is over. So,
is it one of those toilet chairs?
I will be getting up for very short breaks.
Okay.
All right. All that said, it's been a great 99 episodes. John Deconnie, take us home.
Thanks for joining us. And as always, we wish you the best in all your future.